If you think about it, the whole concept of twins sounds like science fiction. Genetic duplicates who share a womb and the same DNA. But unlike zombies, cyborgs, and shark tornadoes, twins are a true life example of how crazy biology can be. And the fact that they look alike barely scratches the surface of all the interesting things about them. Here's everything you never knew about nature's own version of human cloning. Identical versus fraternal. Unless you slept through your high school health class, you know how babies are made. The sperm fertilizes the egg, which becomes a zygote, and 9 months later... Just kidding. Actually, you get one of these, unless that single zygote splits into 2 embryos, resulting in 2 babies who are identical right down to their DNA. But that's not the only way to get 2 kids from one pregnancy. Sometimes, the mother will release 2 eggs, each of which are fertilized by a separate sperm. That's when you end up with fraternal twins, who do share a womb, but unlike identical twins, don't share any more DNA than ordinary siblings.
We are not identical twins. Oh no?
Different fingerprints. From their faces to their genetic profiles, identical twins emerge from the womb sharing virtually every physical characteristic, except, oddly enough, their fingerprints. But why? The answer is that fingerprints are a product of environment rather than genetics. All those whorls, loops, and ridges are formed from the outside in, when a fetus presses his developing fingers against the walls of the womb. Since identical twins occupy different positions in the amniotic sac before birth, they each end up with different unique patterns on their fingertips. That makes fingerprinting the one and only way for police to tell which of the 2 twins has committed a crime. So if a guy wants to rob a bank and let his twin brother take the fall for it, he's gonna have to wear gloves. The disappearing twin. Back before ghosting became a sketchy thing that people do on OkCupid, twins were doing it to each other, in the womb. It's called fetal resorption, and it's one of the eeriest things that can happen during a twin pregnancy. An initial ultrasound reveals 2 developing babies, but somewhere along the way, one of them simply vanishes. Where'd it go?
I ate my twin in the womb.
It sounds shocking, but that's pretty much how it works. One twin sometimes doesn't make it through the early states of the pregnancy due to chromosomal abnormalities, and its remains are absorbed by the surviving fetus. Different families, similar lives. In the event that a pair of twins are separated at birth, they often grow up to lead bizarrely parallel adult lives. The studies surrounding this subject are a little shady. One is even locked in a vault that can't be opened until 2066, but the results don't lie. In one example, a pair of twins reunited in their 30s to discover that they had independently developed similar personalities, political views, and quirky movie tastes. And both had studied film in college and edited their school newspapers before finding work as writers. Bonding in the womb. According to Scientific American, twins get a head start on their social skills even before they're born. By the 14th week of gestation, twins start reaching out to each other in the womb. And by week 18, they'll touch their partner more often than they're touching the walls or themselves, and with more deliberation, patience, and focus. They're also extra careful when touching their twin's eye region, because even when you're a fetus, nobody likes getting poked in the eyeball. Mirror images. Roughly 25% of identical twins come with an interesting twist. They still share all the same genes, but their physical features are flipped, so that looking at their twin is literally like looking in a mirror. If one twin is right-handed, their mirror twin might be left-handed. One might have a unique birthmark on his left leg. The other would have the same birthmark on his right leg. But it gets weirder. The mirror effect also occurs in twins who develop certain health issues. So if one develops, say, a tumor on his right lung, his twin will develop one on the left. Their own language. Before the adult world saddles them with past participles and dangling modifiers, a certain percentage of twins learn to talk exclusively to each other in a language only they can understand. The phenomenon is called cryptophagia, and it happens in about 40% of twin pairs, and usually it doesn't last past toddlerhood. But in at least one case, a pair of twins hung on to their language for so long that they ultimately had to be sent to separate schools in order to learn to converse normally with other people. They're multiplying. Since 1980, the rate of twin births has jumped to 76%, hitting an all-time high in 2014. Where's this twinvasion coming from? For one, women are waiting longer to have kids. And women in their 30s or older are more likely to hyperovulate, which increases the chances of a multiple zygote situation. Plus, there's always the magic of science. More and more couples are turning to in vitro fertilization when they can't get pregnant the old-fashioned way. But since not all those embryos will end up being viable, doctors will often implant a few at a time. Sometimes the result is a healthy baby, but sometimes more than one of those embryos takes, resulting in multiples. Different dads. Remember how fraternal twins result from a woman producing 2 eggs and how each egg gets fertilized by a different sperm?
Hey, we're gonna make babies!
That means that if the timing, genetics, and environmental factors work out just right, or in other words, if a mom releases 2 eggs and gets down with 2 different guys in short succession, you get what's known as heteropaternal superfecundation, or, grounds for divorce.
Andrew, you are not the father.
The phenomenon occurs much more frequently in dogs than people, since female dogs produce multiple eggs and don't usually practice monogamy, but it's been known to happen with people too. One couple in Vietnam was worried that one of their baby twins might have been switched at birth, until the test revealed the twins had different fathers. Awkward. Thanks for watching. Click the grunge icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.